Trinity. Well, we are in Proverbs 23 today. 22. And I realize I've kind of fallen behind in these videos. I think we went a couple days without them because I crashed into the 3-day weekend without thinking through what that would mean for needing to record some videos in advance. I started these daily videos as a way to connect. I started these daily videos reading through Mark leading up to Easter last year as a way for us to prepare to celebrate the resurrection by walking through the whole story of that gospel account. And I continued because I really wanted to connect with people here in Renton while I was there in New Jersey. And I've continued this year because I wanted to connect with people while you are there in your homes and I'm here at the church and we haven't been able to be together. I think that I will finish the book of Proverbs and then sign off with daily videos for now. Now that there's a good option, I think, for us to all be worshiping together. We, this summer at least, can meet outside, and we've switched masks to kind of your own responsibility to figure out what is wise and healthy and caring and a good witness. And so I think I will finish the book of Proverbs and then take a break from daily videos because I'm just getting to the point where I keep forgetting them. And VBA is coming up late. I'll be in Latah and they'll be spotty if I don't just accept my limits and say we need to take a break. But I am excited to go through the rest of the book of Proverbs. Like I said, we are in chapter 22 today. And there are a few verses that jumped out at me, but it's verse 29 that I would like to talk about. It says, "Do you see a man skillful in his work? He will stand before kings. He will not stand before obscure men." It's an interesting statement, that a person who is skillful in their work will stand before kings. I don't think this necessarily means that if you're skillful in your work, you're going to be hired by the White House. That just probability-wise and supply and demand-wise doesn't seem to add up. But it is this promise that by doing skillful work, you'll get to do worthwhile work. And I think that requires us to, think of work more theologically than we have. Not just as something we have to do to put food on the table, but something we can do skillfully and meaningfully. But also to think of meaningful work more broadly than we have. To not just say, missionaries do meaningful work, and the rest of us, we just try to support them, But to recognize, no, God gives us these vocations, these different activities. Even before we start a career, even after we retire, there are things we do that take work, that honor God, that are ways of loving our neighbor, that we can do skillfully, and in so doing, join God in his work in the world. This all made me think of a book I really like. It's Tim Keller and Catherine Leary Alsdorf's book, Every Good Endeavor. We read this in a small group before we ever moved to the East Coast. It's a book I really recommend. I'm just going to read the first paragraph to whet your appetite, and if it seems like something worthwhile for you, consider finding a copy. I think we just put a copy of this in our church library as well. If not, at least there'll be a chance to say hi when you come looking for it. This is the first paragraph. They start out saying, "The Bible begins talking about work as soon as it begins talking about anything. That is how important and basic it is. The author of the book of Genesis describes God's creation of the world as work. In fact, he depicts the magnificent project of cosmos invention within a regular work week of 7 days. And then he shows us human beings working in paradise. This view of work, connected with divine orderly creation and human purpose, is distinct among the great faiths and belief systems of the world." And the rest of the book, Keller and Leary Alsdorf explain what they mean by that. It's really worth your time. And today, it is worth our time to ponder this verse from Proverbs 22:29. "Do you see a man skillful in his work? He will stand before kings. He will not stand before obscure men."